Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay, I am here live on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube, also on TikTok. I know you guys are joining me and coming on. You are more than welcome to share the live tonight. I just come on with a very important teaching and or information for all of us guys who are on this health journey with the Lord. It's very important to understand. Hey, Miss Sandra, she popped up on YouTube, and of course, Miss Dolores, she's probably gonna pop on Facebook. Trying to find my notes here really quick. Hey, Pastor Faye, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing well. I just wanted to come on here and chat a little bit. I know a lot of guys, you are in the process of finding your way to your health and fitness goals. It's so important. I've been teaching and talking the last couple of weeks here about how important it is that God wants us healthy. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. God wants us healthy. There's a lot of sickness that's going on. There's a lot of things we cannot control, but then there's a bunch of stuff that we can control. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about the lie of moderation. Okay. For many of us, going into a mindset of trying to moderate what we eat is absolutely is non-existent. Now I need y'all to talk back to me, okay, and let me know that I'm not by myself. It's non-existent to think that we can actually moderate some of the things that we eat. And a lot of times we hold on to the fantasy of moderation in order to be able to keep the food. You need to write in your notes or jot this down. I cannot keep everything. Yes, it is. I am here in Michigan and it is nib out. Can you say nib out? It is nib out 90 degrees. And it's still spring. We can't keep everything. We cannot keep everything. If you are intentional about eating healthy, if you're intentional about getting to where God wants you to be, we have to understand we can't keep everything. And this is really interesting. These kind of chats right here, anything that has to do with a God kind of life aren't very popular. Why? Because number one, God does not cater to your flesh. God doesn't cater to your flesh. We can't keep everything. And that is a lot of the issue as to why a lot of these particular chats are not very popular. And I don't mind. I have to keep telling the truth because it helps me and it helps whoever comes across it also. And it also helps you. It may come in the way of a seed. You may receive the seed today, but it might not spring up for years down the road. But I'm here to tell you that you cannot keep everything. And it's very interesting because doctors will try to tell you that that is the goal. The goal is to eat everything in moderation. And I told my doctor the other day when I went, you can have it in moderation. I said, no, I cannot. My kind of system is the system that is an all or nothing. Are you an all or nothing person? I'm all or nothing. If I can't eat the whole bag, I ain't gonna eat it at all. So if I start eating, it is my goal to eat it all. I am in some areas still a part of the Clean Plate Club. That means you don't get up and leave till you clean your plate. You clean your plate, and then whatever that you should have left on your plate is now spackled to your hips, into your gut, and up under your neck. So we have to come to terms with the reality that we can't keep it all. You can't keep all of the food. So One of the things I'm going to say, everything does not work for everyone, okay? Everything doesn't work for everyone, but something works for everyone. So there's the catchphrase. Everything don't work for everybody, but everything works. Something works for everyone, okay? Everything doesn't work for everybody, but something works for everybody. Moderation does not work for those people like myself who know this. I was going to do a PowerPoint, but honey, just trying to do a PowerPoint late over in the evening, it was too much for my head. So I said, you know what? I've been teaching this for a very long time. So I definitely know how to teach without a script because dieting mentality has been a part of my life for over 42 years. So if you've been on a diet anytime and you've tried to go under the premise of moderation, you know, moderation fails every single time. Why? There are just some things that your body physiologically cannot handle. Of course, we know some things are going on in our Food and Drug Administration, praise the Lord, that some chemicals are being taken out of some products. But as of right now, you still have to contend with a lot of chemicals in your food. There's a wonderful video that maybe I'll get a chance to post that really shows that the food industry is very clever and they on purpose get together psychologists, psychiatrists, sound engineers, all of these people come together in order to make food highly palatable and highly addictive. Okay? Highly palatable and highly addictive on purpose. So that when you take that first hit of Doritos or chips or cookies, it gives a sense of drugs shooting into your blood system. Is that anybody else who happens to be on here? That you know, if you get a hit of something, whether it's cookies, chips, pop, whatever it is, it hits your system and it feels like crack. A switch is turned on and you cannot turn it off. That is the addictive point. And it's true, Miss Sandra. It's amazing. Hey, Miss Exuberant, my friend, it is amazing. One of our next meetings, Miss Sandra, I'm going to show that video. In the video is like 20 years old. And this guy, he actually had to sue certain food industries to get in there to find out what's going on with the food. Why is it you just can't eat one Lay's? What is it in the products that make them so highly palatable and so highly addictive? And this has just been, of course, increasing in the last maybe 10, 15 years to where now people are addicted to certain foods. So I'm going to read just a little bit about sugar addiction. Are you a sugar addict? Are you willing to be honest with yourself and say, I have an issue with sugar? I have an issue with sugar. Miss Sandra, I think the video is older than 20 years old. And this guy is like, there's something going on in the food industry as to why you just can't pick up, let's say, a bag of Oreos and you can't eat two like you used to. Now a switch is flipped on in your physiological body and you're eating the whole bag before you even come to yourself. Before you come back to your conscious self, you've eaten the whole bag. Whether it's Doritos, the cheese puffs, it's just mind staggering. And then we go and we beat up on ourselves and we make all these promises that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. And then there's such an addictive property in those items. Okay, so let me read a little bit about sugar addiction. Okay, let me get my mouse together here. Okay, sugar addiction is a widely debated topic. It refers to, listen to this, it refers to the compulsive overconsumption of sugar and the inability to control the intake despite negative consequences. I knew when I was eating a whole bag of Oreos, I knew what the consequences was going to be. I knew how I was going to feel afterwards, but it was so the sense, but it was driving me to eat it. And I know there's been study with mice and rats that you can give them sugar or cocaine, and those rats exhibited even worse behavioral issues when it came to sugar than it did the cocaine. So sugar is highly addictive. Okay, highly addictive. It says, now here's how you know that you are addicted. Here's some symptoms, okay? Some symptoms is binge eating. Binge eating sugar is definitely a clear sign that you are addicted to sugar. Intense cravings, a strong desire or urge to consume sugary foods or drink. Hey, Miss Tanya, that's another indicator. Indicators that you are addicted to sugar. Binge eating, consuming large amounts of sugar in one sitting, often accompanied by the feeling of the loss of control. In other words, hey, Miss Kenya, hey, a loss of control. You feel like you lose control. When you start to eat, you can't help it. And you know what? You can't. I hope that this chat gives you some sense of peace, because it's not you going crazy. It's not that you don't have willpower. It is on purpose by the enemy, of course, and by the food industry to make sure that you are addicted to sugar so you keep running back to it. Okay? All right. Now, get this, you go through withdrawal symptoms, experiencing negative physical and emotional symptoms like headaches, irritability, fatigue, and anxiety when the sugar intake is reduced. So, when you reduce your sugar intake, you really start to feel some kind of way. And for a little bit, the enemy will play games with your mind and make you think you just don't have enough willpower. There's something wrong with you. No, it is in your physiology, it's in your physical makeup now that addiction is taking place. Okay. That's why the live moderation will not work for those of us who've dealt with addiction. Okay, and you have to be okay with saying it. I'm addicted to sugar, and I told my doctor I have an issue with sugar. Me and sugar are divorced, and we're separated, and we're divorcing each other. Sugar keep trying to call my number, and I keep saying ain't nobody home. Because when you finally get free from it, you're still going to be surrounded by it, because it's part of our life. And sugar is in everything. And so we're not talking about those small, tiny amounts of sugar, of course, because it's in practically everything. But read your labels, become a label reader, and find out the place where sugar is on the label. But when it comes down to your consumption on your own, that's where you're going to have to rein yourself in and tell the truth. You have to divorce sugar. Sugar will kill you. Sugar is responsible for the inflammation in your body. Get this, it's responsible for the phlegm. It will exaggerate allergies. It causes all types of ailments and rashes. It will overtax and overwork your pancreas. Your pancreas is having to produce large amounts of insulin in order to level your blood sugar, and it becomes overtaxed. Okay, so I hope you guys are listening. It's a hard drive. It's a hard understanding. All right, so listen. Also, it says, okay, eating to cope with emotions. I grew up as an emotional eater, using sugary foods to alleviate stress, sadness, or other negative emotions. Sugar releases the serotonin in our bodies, in our glands. Also, it gives you the sense of warmth and belonging. So that's why you tend to gravitate towards sugar when you're sad. This is good. This is Holy Spirit too. You gravitate towards sugar when you're sad because sugar gives the comforting feeling. You gravitate towards salty, crunchy items when you're mad or when you're anxious because it gives you a sense of control. That crunch down gives you a sense of controlling something. And so you grab for salty and crunchy when you are angry or stressed. You grab for sugar when you are sad or depressed because it makes you feel comforted. Okay? That's really good information. Salty, crunchy when you're angry and feelings about a controlness. Sugar, sweet, soft when you're sad and you're depressed. Okay? All right. Why is sugar so addictive? Oh, also the last one is difficulty cutting back. That's where the moderation lie is. They tell you, well, just cut back. Your doctor tell you, well, you can have it, but in moderation. No, you can't. You have to be okay with knowing yourself, telling the truth about yourself, being honest, and then telling other people, I can't have that. And then I can't have that will turn into I don't want that. Because when you detox your body from sugar, you can begin to see exactly the kind of hold that it had on you. And sugar, there are books out there with people telling you how to get free from sugar addiction. It's a really big deal, but it's not something that we talk about a lot. Listen, it's hot, summertime, time to sit back and unwind and get your whatever on, the picnics, the potlucks, the holidays. And listen, bread and starchy foods act just like sugar in your body. The same thing. Moderation doesn't work with those. And I know this is some hard information to hear, but the videos will be available for a limited time. It'll be available on Facebook, but it is going to be on my YouTube page, so you can go back and watch it and do your own research. It is a challenge to get free from the white stuff: pasta, flour, rice, white sugar, breads, because they all act the same in your chemistry body. All right, take a deep breath. Let me get a sip of water because that's a tough sell when you start to talk to people and they start to ask you, well, how did you get free? Freedom, first of all, comes with gut wrenching honesty. Can you say gut wrenching honesty? Gut wrenching honesty. Miss Sandra, the bread too. Baby, the bread too. Now you can think about like a whole grain bread, that's different. But there again, read your labels. Or an Ezekiel bread, read your labels and see what's in there. Now, if you can find a great bread that's more seed and grain base, that's different. But if you get something with just flour in it, listen, wheat flour is white flour turned brown. So white bread and wheat bread, there's actually no difference in them. Gut-wrenchingly honesty. You have to be honest and be able to say to yourself, these are things that I can't do. These are things that I don't eat well. That's where I started. This is something I don't handle this well. When I start eating this, I eat beyond my measure. And I ate like that all the time. I ate beyond my measure. Every time I sat down to eat, I was eating like it was the last supper. Like I was never going to eat again. Okay? So listen, what does sugar do in your body? Scrolling up a little bit. Okay, what sugar does in your body? The brain's reward system, as mentioned, sugar triggers the release of dopamine, which reinforces the behavior of consuming sugary foods. So you have the release of dopamine and you have the release of serotonin in your body that reinforces the eating behavior. Okay? Dopamine and serotonin are released in your body. So it continues. That's the reward system. That's the feeling of being warm, loved, and comforted, and also the sense of being in control of something, meaning the crunchy, salty deal. When you're watching a show, let's say I don't do horror movies, but if you happen to be watching a movie and it's a very intense movie, you're sitting there with chips or popcorn, you're just you're just tossing it back and you're not even thinking about it. Also, these foods are very, no, these foods lack nutrient density. They're very squishy foods. That's why cakes, of course, cakes and cookies are very soft and very squishy. Or you can have the crunchy cookies, which the results is exactly the same. Or you have the popcorn and the chips while you're eating. There's no nutrient density in it. And so it doesn't feel like you've eaten anything. That's why you can go to the movies, stuff your face full of popcorn, and not even feel it because it has no density. And isn't it interesting? When you do crave something, you never crave vegetables. Anybody got a response to that? Did you know that when you crave something, you don't crave vegetables? Nobody says, you know what? I am craving carrots. I'm craving broccoli. I'm craving string beans. Nobody, you don't crave nutrient dense foods. Why? Because you want something to hit your bloodstream quick. And so what happens is that your memory bank actually has a file. That's what I call it. It has a file to remember. Last time you were upset, what is it that you did? So it becomes an ingrained habit of thought. First thing you're reaching for is something crunchy. Or the first thing you're reaching for is something sweet. And after that first few bites, you don't even taste it anymore. Now it's purely addictive mode. You're just shoving it in. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? After the first couple of bites, you don't taste the food anymore. That's why I could eat a whole pack of cookies and it don't even faze me. And even though I knew that there was going to be horrible consequences, meaning I was going to feel horrible the next day because of all of the work that my pancreas is having to do all night trying to level my blood sugar. And the next day, I was going to be foggy. I was going to be listless. I was going to be groggy. I was going to be nitpicky. Yeah. So they're making the food on purpose to be highly palatable, highly addictive, using salt, sugar, and fat. Salt, sugar, and oil. That's the magic combination. Salt, sugar, and oil, and everything. That's why more natural foods cost more because they're not using cheaper measures to make them. It doesn't it takes more effort to get the natural products. That's why they cost more. But At this point in my life, guess what? You're going to pay. You're going to pay for good health now, or you're going to be made to pay for your bad health later. You're going to pay. It's like the poem, Choose Your Hard. Choose your hard. It's hard to eat healthy, but it's hard to be obese and sick. Choose your hard. Or even if you're not obese, you know when you're not eating healthy, you don't feel well. So it's hard to eat healthy, but it's hard to be sick. It's harder to be sick. So choose the hard that's going to get you healthy. Choose the hard that's going to get you to feeling better. Now, when it comes down to getting a handle, well, we're going to talk just a little bit about the risk of overconsumption. Okay. All right. Weight gain and obesity, of course, we know. And some of you guys who do not gain weight, you will have other health issues to deal with, like diabetes, high blood pressure. They're very thin people that have high blood pressure that are health induced. Okay. Type 2 diabetes, excessive sugar intake can lead to insulin resistance and increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This little nugget right here is a Holy Spirit nugget, and it's a factual nugget. Remember this. If you don't remember anything else, remember this. Your body was created to process food vertically. You were meant to be in an upright position while your body processes food, because gravity is supposed to help your body process the food. That's why babies do so much better when they're fed sitting up. Did you know that? Did you know your body was meant to process food in an upright position? That's why you feel so awful after you eat and you lay down, because your body isn't supposed to be in a horizontal position while it processes food. That's why it is a good practice to not eat anything, I would say 3.5 to 4 hours before you go to bed. So that means the late night snackers, you need a boundary with cutting off your eating time to make sure that your body at least has 3 hours or more to process what was last put in it. When your body is in a horizontal position, it is having to work harder. When you go to sleep, your organs are supposed to be resting. Did you hear that? When you go to sleep, honey, every part of your body is supposed to be resting. That means your organs are supposed to be resting. But if you eat a big meal and you lay down, your organs cannot rest. Your organs don't rest. Your organs keep working while you are sleeping or while you're trying to sleep. Usually after you've eaten a big meal and then you go to bed, maybe an hour or two later, you have very horrible sleep because your organs are not resting. Did you know your organs are supposed to rest? Your organs are supposed to rest so that they can recuperate and regenerate while you are sleeping. But when your organs don't rest, you get up and you're tired and you don't know why you're tired. All you know is you're tired. Why? Because your organs have been running all night. Your organs have been running the night shift. And I can remember, of course, I'm gonna use myself, when I would eat a whole bag of Oreos, my pancreas, my liver, my kidneys, all of those would be in overtime, working all night long while I was trying to sleep. But the sleep wasn't good sleep. Miss Sandra say you wake up, you feel lethargic, you feel tired, your mouth is pasty, you're foggy. Why? Because your organs haven't rested. Your organs have been working all night. And I can remember eating large amounts, and then a couple of hours later, maybe, or maybe right after I ate, I would go to bed, and I would be snoring up a storm. The sleep would be very hard because my organs wasn't resting. Get this, your organs are conversating with each other all of the time. Your heart is talking to your pancreas. Your pancreas is talking to your liver. Your liver is talking to your kidneys. I used to do this little thought in my mind when I would be on a bender, a binge fest. And let's say all I actually needed was, let's say, 1,000 calories a day. Okay, because don't fall for the lie of what the pyramid says, that you need 2,000 or 2,500 calories a day. No, you don't. You got calories all around your hips and your neck, all up, shaking all up under your arm, all on your thighs and your rumpty tongue. Calories, listen, the word calorie is the word energy. Calorie means energy. That's it. It's no big mystery. Calories mean minute, means energy. That's what the word calorie means. Look it up. The word calorie means energy. And when your body cannot use that energy, it stores it for later. So fat on your body is stored energy your body hasn't used. That's it. That's it. That's all fat is. Fat is stored energy that your body has not used. Why? Because you've eaten more energy than you need. Let's say I need only 1,000 calories a day. That's it. Why? Because I got a whole bunch of storage. Like a camel. Yep. Ha! Come on. You don't talk about the hump on the back. Okay, Miss Sandra. Okay. Because I got some donut rolls. I still got some Oreos hanging around my hips. Okay. Let's say my body only needs 1,000 calories for the day. That's it. But I take in 5,000 calories for the day. 5,000 calories is actually a low amount for what I used to eat. But let's say I take in 5,000 calories for the day. Okay? Guess what? Your organs are having a conversation with each other. And your organs are saying, you know what? Lacey has taken in 4,000 more calories than she needs. She doesn't need all this energy. So your heart says, what are we going to do with this energy? And your pancreas said, send some down to me. And it stores that energy as fat on your organs. Fatty liver disease, fat round your hips, fat round your neck, fat round your midsection. It's only stored energy that the body has not used. And a lot of us has a lot of stored energy that the body hasn't used. Is this making sense to anybody? Now, exercise come into play because it helps us use the stored energy. Because guess what? You only need still about 1,000 calories a day in what you eat. But as you begin to exercise and work out, your body will pull from the stored energy called fat. Fat is stored energy. That's it. That's all. Honey, when the Lord told me that, it was like a duh moment. He was like, they're making it harder than it actually is. So when you work out, you may not be physically hungry. So what your body does is start to pull from the stored energy from around your hips, from around your waist, from around your thighs, from around your behind, around your neck, around your shoulder. The body starts pulling this stored energy and burning it out of the carbon monoxide that's coming out of your mouth. You breathe out the fat stored as energy as you exhale. And that's what's called burning fat, aka losing weight. That's it. Losing weight is not really, it's not a big mystery. The mystery in losing weight is not there. The issue is the addiction that we have to deal with. Food is highly addictive. But remember, man wants to focus on the outer appearance and tell you it's the outer appearance that's the issue, when really it's the addictive component that we need to focus on, and the mental emotional connection with it also. And realize when I'm stressed, the first thing I want to do is find something crunchy. So you know what? Knowing that moderation doesn't work for me, I don't have it in the house. So that means your shopping list is going to have to change. I couldn't get chips just because I wanted them at the house. I couldn't get chips for my husband to have them at the house. I had to get the chips and take it to his office. Why? Because I'm not stressed out like that at his office. It's a switch that comes on sometimes at night, and I get an urge to eat. Habit. It takes a while for the habits to break. It's a lot better than it used to be. But I'm telling you, sometimes if there's a lot going on, bam, that urge will come on and my body will want something crunchy. And guess what? I don't have it here. And I'm sure is not going to get up and put on clothes to go to the store. So I'm learning to drink a glass of water and go to bed because I'm not hungry. I might be stressed. I might be tired. Watch the tired eating also. You're not hungry, you're tired. So when it comes down to moderation, number one, it's a lie. Number two, everybody can't do it. You have to be honest with yourself and allow God to tell you the things that you have to give up. There's some stuff you're going to have to give up to be free. The question will always be, how bad do you want to be free? It's a day by day decision. It's not that you make the decision once and you never have to deal with it again. Why? Because you're living around food. Everything revolves around food. Lots of things do, but you're going to have to shift the way you think. And although there's so many things that are going to be happening around food, holidays, birthdays, gatherings, not allow that to be your center anymore. It's amazing now on this side of the sugar stream exactly to see how it controls people's lives. At every gathering, there's always something fatty. There's always fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, dressing, all kind of cakes and cookies and sugar. And just to see the amount of consumption is really mind staggering now on this side. Because and I don't throw anybody under the bus, because baby, you got to fight the good fight of faith every day, because I'm telling you, and I know this, you have to start looking at moderation in the terms of being abstinent or not ready yet. Sometimes you're not ready. And I had to have conversations with the Lord and tell him, I'm not ready. I like this. I like it. I liked it. I liked it. But when I really, it's like it was a different kind of tired. My apostles say, my apostle Maria, she said, when you hit the wall. And it wasn't me hitting the wall, it was watching a loved one hit the wall. And the Lord telling me, what are you going to do? God will show you a mirror through someone else's life and ask you the question, what are you going to do? And for some people, we know we are in a season of extraordinary grace. And we know if we don't take full advantage of what God is doing now, it may not ever come back. I may not ever want to again. So think about it. Moderation is a lie for me. It's a lie for me. I can't do it. Some people can. If you're not addicted to sugar, maybe you can. If you don't have a problem with unregulated emotions at times, maybe you can. Me? Oh, no. There are just some things that I've decided I can't moderate my way and live with it. There's some people, and I know you guys know people who may be free and abstinent and alcoholism. If they're really true to their abstinence, they will never say, I can have a few wine coolers. Or I can have a beer. No, they know. I knew of a guy, he didn't even have mouthwash with alcohol in it. He said addiction is serious. Addiction don't mean that you're weak. It means that there's something physiologically going on in your body that when the switch is turned on, it is nearly impossible to turn it off. So I want you to take some time and think about it. Remember, everything does not work for everyone, meaning the different types of tools that you might use, the plan, powder, shake. Some people are doing shots. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm just making the decision every day. I am not going to jeopardize my abstinence from sugar because it is horrible to be addicted to sugar. It's horrible to feel horrible every single day. I felt horrible. I could fake the funk, but when I came home, real life hit me every single time. Every time I sat down to eat, I was faced with the reality of the addiction. I would get, man, if I had time to tell y'all the amounts of food that I could eat. I had weight loss surgery. Weight loss surgery do not cure food addiction. It doesn't cure it. Wonderful tool. You gotta work on the mental, emotional part and the honesty and the vulnerability in telling the truth about yourself and saying, you know what? I'm addicted to this stuff. I cannot stop eating it. It is controlling my life. I used to have so much sugar in my coffee, it would be nauseating, but I drank it. I punished my organs because of the amount of sugar that I put in it. So if you guys have any questions, I'll give you guys a couple minutes. If you're thinking about any questions you want to ask, you're more than welcome to. This chat is practically done. I just wanted to give some information on why moderation is a lie. And to tell the truth, our food industry knows it. That's why it's just mind staggering now when you go into the store and you see the shelves of junk. and they're calling that food. It's junk. And we put that poison in our bodies, and we get addicted to that poison, and then we want it. Honey, I had a problem with gum at one point. I had a problem with gum, a particular gum. I can't remember the gum. I think it was Bazooka. Y'all remember Bazooka bubble gum? Because it was full of sugar. Honey, I had an issue with Bazooka bubble gum. I kept Bazooka by the bed. And when I woke up in the morning, honey, I had to give me a piece of Bazooka bubble gum. Bazooka, it had the little comic strip in there. I had an issue with Bazooka. And I used to chew it all of the time. I'm not sure what happened to Bazooka. I don't know if they still sell it anywhere, but I don't know. I give up on it at one point. But anyway, it doesn't seem like you guys have any questions. So maybe all the questions have been asked, or maybe you're thinking about it or meditating on it. But anyway, think about that, because it might apply to you in your life, and making some decisions and say, you know what? I don't eat that very well. I can't eat a little bit of rice and a little bit of pasta. I can't eat a little bit of that bread basket. I can't do a little. I eat all of it. And I like it, and I eat it all. And then I go home and I eat some more. And then I go out and I eat some more. And I eat in the car, and I eat in the driveway, and I eat at work. And then I eat late at night, and I'm eating. And it is wrecking your body and wrecking your soul because of not dealing with the emotional things that are going on. And I'm still an all or nothing person. That's why even now, with fixing my food and everything, I have to have a certain amount, and then I have to eat it. Then I have to wait for that urge to pass, because after you eat, I can't. And that's just it. Listen, I'm like Paul. I haven't count myself to have apprehended, because there's so much of it that's still a mystery to me, that after I eat, I have to sit and let the urge to eat pass. Because if I get up during that urge, I'll continue to eat. And I don't know why. I haven't figured that part out. I'm sure Father may give me a revelation on it. Is there anybody else who felt that? When you get done with your plate of food or whatever, immediately you want to go back in and get more. But I'm learning to stop and sit until the body feels full. Until my body feels full, I have to stop and sit and wait. Because if I don't, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to get more. And before you know it, I've eaten way too much, and it feels like I want to throw up. And I don't like that feeling. And I make all these promises. So now I'm learning to do something different. When I feel that, when I eat, I have to stop and just sit. Just sit in it. Cover the plate. Cover it with your napkin, paper towel, or whatever. Cover the plate and just sit there. It's not even a great thing for me to get up and take it to the kitchen to put it in the sink right at that time, because I'm going to pass by the food. And will a couple more bites won't hurt? Yes, it will, because a couple more bites always end up in overeating. So that's my nuggets for tonight. I hope it helped you. I just chatted a little bit to see if you guys had any questions. People popping in and out, and that's okay. So I hope you guys take some wisdom from this. Take it into your prayer time and see what God has to say to you. What he tells you to do, just obey him, okay? Because he wants you free, and he wants you healthy for the long run. Okay? You guys have a good night. I'm supposed to be on in the morning at 5 a.m., continuing the series The heart of the unbeliever. It was good Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to sharing more information about the heart of the unbeliever in the morning. Okay? Okay. I'll talk to you guys soon and have a great night. Bye bye.